I think of you all the time. I think of you even when I'm trying not to. I think of you when I sip my morning coffee. I think of you when I roll out of bed feeling groggy and catch a glimpse of my puffy eyes looking like they spent the night swimming in a sea of toffee. I think of you when I'm not even thinking about you. I think of you when I'm eating food and sometimes I get so distracted that I forget to chew, so the mushed up lump of several ingredients just sits in the corner of my mouth and sticks there like glue. I think of you when my eyes are gazing at a screen, watching something on TV, but the program I'm watching no one else can see. Pictures of you flicker across my mind. Sometimes I get cross because you made me miss the big finale and I have to rewind. I don't stay mad for long. I think of you when my heart is heavy. I think of you when I feel those familiar aches in my belly. I think of you when I get any news. And as much as I think I should wait to tell you in a better moment, I never do because it's you. I think of you when I'm angry, when my insides shudder and shake, the moment when passion and pain collide, like when I don't cut a bagel right, and the bread is thick on one side and really thin on the other, and that unsteady rage bursts through its cover like confetti out of a cannon, although I always imagined it more like fire out of the mouth of a dragon. I think of you when I'm standing. I think of you when I'm sitting. I think of you when I'm upside down. I think of you when I'm inside. And I think of you when I venture out. I think of you when I move. And I think of you when I'm still. It's strange. I don't think there is a time when I don't think of you at all. It's always scared me that. Perhaps I see love as a weakness, you as my vice, which has restricted my freedom and being honest about just how much I really like you. Which is a lot, a lot, a lot. I'd much rather you were here than not. Sometimes I whisper your name even though you're out of earshot, just in case through some trick of fate our love has created a telepathic bond and you're able to respond. No, I'm joking, that's crazy. I don't really do that, but would you think it odd? I think I probably think of you so much that you have your own little box in my brain which says Charlie and it looks like it's about to burst. I might have to shift some of the dustier ones out the way. Your box is so bright it even lights up the boxes that frighten me. It manages to spread colour onto the array of greys, and I thank you for that. But I would be lying to say the thoughts of you are always kind. I know you think I like to hang your imperfections on the line, hand selecting the flaws that are not always visible to the eye. You sigh and label it a character assassination. I recline, sensing your agitation, realising that my expectations were a tad out of line. I realise I need to work on my timing. But to love someone isn't to see them as perfect, far from it. And although I have loved you for several days, faded marks or out-of-date layers do not have to stay. We're not stuck like this forever. We do not have to wear old habits. I will love you regardless, but if I don't like the way you behave, I will not stay quiet. Sometimes your box goes grey too. So I will nudge you and say, that colour doesn't sit right on you, it no longer fits. When you leave a colour behind, a new one hits, brighter and prettier than what came before. At first you may be a little unsure until you notice the way it complements your eyes, softens your voice, warms you to your core because the choice suddenly makes sense. I hope that when my box goes grey, you will not hesitate to say, hey, I think that colour you wear no longer looks the best, and pass me a new one for me to test. I often think of you undressed. I think of you in a sexy way. I think of you in a perplexed way. I think of you in a very, very mundane way. I think of you when the sun hits my face and caresses my skin in a similar way to your fingers that run along my thighs. I think of you when I'm sad. I think of you when I'm fine. No, the way I think of you isn't always perfect or clear-cut, but the truth is that really doesn't matter much because you are on my mind all the time, and it's always with love.